Chapter 1. Changes. You are listening at FameTV.info. Mission, British Columbia, 2014. The quadruplets Jacob, Demon, Dane and Olivia came bolting into the house for dinner. Dixie and Darren had adopted them 20 years ago, thinking that they had adopted puppies, but learned a few months after adopting them that they were shifters when they walked into the living room one day and found 4 naked infants instead of 4 puppies. Hungry? Darren laughed, sitting down at the dining table. Sorry, we were running back from the forest we practice in, Olivia said with a smile as she grabbed the bowl of mashed potatoes and put a scoop on her plate. Still nothing? Dixie asked. Nope. It seems a lot harder than it looks, Jacob said in frustration. The secrecy doesn't help either, a human almost caught us. Like serious, can't we just tell them to shove it and move along? Dane growled, his crystal blue eyes glaring at everyone at the table. We can't, Dane, you know it's a supernatural law, Demon grumbled, glaring back at his brother with the same eyes. But it's stupid, he hissed back. And we follow the rules, Jacob snapped, tired of the same conversation. Jacob, calm down, Olivia softly said, placing her petite smooth hand on Jacob's broad shoulder. I'm trying, but it doesn't help when Dane is saying the same stupid things, he responded. Dane means well, she answered, his crystal blue eyes wandering to her brother Dane. Whatever. Dane snapped, standing up from the dining table and heading to the front door. And where are you going? Jacob asked, glaring at Dane with his own crystal blue eyes. Out, he bellowed, slamming the door behind him. Damn, and I thought I was a kid, Demon said, scratching his short brown and silver hair. He just needs some fresh air, Dixie said, starting to clear the table, frustrated, Dane kicked a rock as he was walking down the street. He hated having to hide from the humans, hated everything about the humans. Why couldn't they just be accepting? They accept different cultures and different ways of life, what was so different about them? So, what if they had animal characteristics, didn't mean that they were any different from the humans? If anything, the only difference was that shifters were a little stronger than humans, and that they could switch into their animal counterparts. Dane learned a while ago how to shift. Shifting was different for each shifter, depending on the reason or depending on the animal. Basically, once they learned to shift back into animal, they could do it at will, but until then, a shifter needed to find a beacon per se. Dane's was his strong emotions. He switched when he became really angry. After Dane had walked a few blocks, he felt like someone was following him. He turned to see if there was anyone there, but there wasn't. He turned back around and was face to face with someone who was about 2 inches taller than himself. Dressed in soldier-like clothing, he had short brown hair and dark blue eyes. Dane stood still, not sure how to respond to this human. I'm not a human kid, the figure said. Who the hell are you? Dane growled, taking a step back. I'm like you, a wolf shifter, my name is Blaze. What do you want? I want what you want, for humans to accept us and not to live in hiding, Blaze said. How do you know I want that? You scream pretty loud in your place, geez kid, you got a temper on you, Blaze laughed, brushing his hand through his short brown hair. I have a hard time holding my temper, Dane responded, wiping his brown-colored bangs out of his eyes. I can see that. I might be able to help you out, kid, or rather we could help each other out. How so? Well, you can be my boss and you call all the shots. My only condition, letting me go after a single council member. Why? The council member is my brother and I should have been named a council member, not him. I see, so I call the shots. Dane asked, not sure if he heard that right. You call the shots. Alright, my name's Dane, it'll be a pleasure working with you, Dane said, extending a slim, but muscular-looking hand. Pleasure's all mine, he replied back, accepting Dane's handshake. Later that evening, Olivia sat on the couch, reading her book when she felt a chill go down her spine. She put the book down and raked her hand through her long silver hair, not sure what to think of the feeling she just had. "Liv, you all right?" Jacob asked, looking towards her. "I don't know, I just felt this cold chill like something bad is happening or about to happen," Olivia replied. "Dane back yet?" "Nope," Jacob said, noting his sister's concerned voice. "Where did that boy run off to?" "It's been like 4 hours since he left," Demon said in an annoyed tone, walking into the living room from the kitchen. He then sat down on the couch next to Jacob. "He's been acting weird lately. Leaving early, going out, coming home late. I get he's frustrated, but this is just out of the normal for him, especially when he doesn't tell us anything anymore. It's like he shut us out," Olivia said, with a hint of sadness in her voice. "That's true. We've all noticed this change over last little while and it is weird," Demon agreed. Just then, they heard the key in the front door. The doorknob turned and Dane entered the house and closed the front door. He then hung his jacket up and started to ascend the stairs. "Hey bud, where have you been? You've had us worried," Jacob said, standing up and heading for the stairs. "None of your business," he growled back. "Hey, we're your family. You can talk to us about anything, Dane, you know that," Olivia said calmly. "Geez, what crawled up his ass?" Demon growled, raking his hair. "I don't know and I really wish I did, but we can't push him. We need to head to bed too," Jacob yawned, heading up the stairs himself. The next morning, there was no sign of Dane, which was a big problem as he wasn't a morning person. The others had breakfast before they decided to go out and look for him. They were wondering if maybe he was in the woods trying to shift again. It worried them and they hoped he was all right. Once they left the house, they jogged to the forest where they were working on shifting and entered it. They listened for any sign that Dane was here, but all they could hear was the creak in the distance, the wind moving the leaves at the tops of the trees, and a couple of twigs cracking from animals in the distance walking on them. Jacob then heard twigs snap behind him and he turned around. He slowly backed up, causing his siblings to turn and see what he was backing away from. They then followed suit. What they were backing away from were 2 men that seemed extremely hostile, one of which was holding a rifle, pointed at them. "Sorry for trespassing," Jacob said in a quiet voice. "Trespassing? We don't own this forest, kid," the man that wasn't holding the rifle laughed, skimming his short blonde and orange hair with his slim fingers. "No, we're hunting," the man with the rifle said, glaring at the twins with his piercing forest green eyes. "Hunting animals?" Demon asked. "No, shifters like yourselves," the green-eyed man said. "My name is Tesmere, I'm an immortal hunter. This here is my friend Lucas, he's a vampire." "Did we do something wrong?" Olivia asked. "You, no. Your father, yes," Lucas glared with his olive-green eyes. "Father?" Jacob said, confused. "Don't play dumb, kid. We know everything about you and your family," Tesmere hissed, shaking his head, causing his red-colored bangs to sway back and forth in front of his face. "We're not. We don't know who our father is or our family. We've been in BC from when we were 3 days old," Olivia said calmly, playing with the tip of her hair, nervously. "So, that's what happened to his pups," Lucas snickered. "I'm going to assume that none of you can shift either." No," Demon said, embarrassed. "Well, that's not my problem. All I want is revenge on your father and that means me taking one of you to lure him," Tesmere said, raising his gun to them. "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." Before Tesmere could finish, 2 wolves bolted into the clearing, one knocking Tesmere to the ground, while the other chased Lucas into the forest. The one fighting Tesmere grabbed the gun in his jaws and tried pulling it away, but Tesmere used his brute strength and yanked it away from the auburn-colored wolf. He aimed the gun at the wolf, but before he could pull the trigger, Olivia rushed Tesmere and knocked him over again. Furious, Tesmere got back up again and was about to charge Olivia, when he realized it was no use. Both Demon and Jacob blocked her, and the auburn wolf glared at Tesmere with its emerald-green eyes. Tesmere turned tail and headed into the woods where the other wolf had chased Lucas into. The auburn wolf that was left behind turned and looked at Olivia and her brothers. Tilting her head, she slowly circled them and looked them over. Not sure what the wolf was doing, Demon tried reaching for a stick that was nearby, but before he could pick it up, a silver-furred wolf snapped at his hand, narrowly missing his thumb. Both these wolves looked like normal wolves, but the siblings were smarter than that and knew these two wolves were not normal. Wolves don't just randomly attack, or protect a human for that matter. The wolf that snapped at Demon glared at them with light sky blue eyes. Before anyone could make a decision, Olivia knelt down to the height of the auburn wolf. She looked into the wolf's eyes for a moment before realizing who she was. Alex. Olivia asked, with a soft voice. How did you know it was me? A female voice asked. Lucky guess, Olivia said. You know these shifters? A male voice said. Yes, I went to school with Olivia and her brothers, the female explained. I had no idea you were a shifter, Demon said, surprised. It seems that only Olivia figured that out, Alex laughed, shifting to human form. As naked as a baby's behind, Alex brushed her fire-colored red hair behind her slim shoulders. Wow, that was impressive, Demon said, red-faced. What? Never seen a naked woman before. Alex grinned. Not in the flesh, Demon bashfully replied, covering his crotch with his hands. Easy boy, I already have my interest in someone else, and you're not my type either, Alex giggled, causing more redness in Demon's face. Anyway, we were on our way home and noticed you were in a bit of trouble, Alex said, changing subjects. Could you maybe put some clothes on? Jacob finally spoke. The whole time he had his hand covering his eyes. He was raised to be respectful, wolf shifter or not. No can do, unless you're a magic user that can snap your fingers and reveal clothes for us, a male voice replied. The twins looked over to see a tall slender man, with long silver hair, leaning against the trunk of a tree where the silver wolf had been. Sorry no, Olivia said, averting her eyes from the naked man. Well then, you'll just have to deal with us being naked for now, the man replied. This is Raska, he's a close friend of Fong, Alex said. Fong? As in Dr. Fong? Demon asked. Yes, that one. I'm sure you know that Fong is a wolf shifter and the alpha of the mission pack. Alex said, sitting down on a stump. Yes, Jacob answered. So, what was that guy's deal anyway? Olivia asked. Tesmere is an immortal hunter, Alex started. He mentioned that, Demon said. Well, have you guys heard of the GSB? Raska asked. GSB? Olivia inquired. It's short for Government of the Supernatural Being. It's basically like the human government, just that there are a lot less members and it consists of supernatural beings only. The human government and the supernatural one work together to keep us under wraps, at least until they all believe that humans can handle supernatural beings. Tesmere is one of the government members. Raska is also a member as well. Each member has a role and Tesmere's role is population control. Mind you, that's not what today was about, Alex began. My role is beta. When our member head isn't around, I deal with any and all things that need to go through the council, Raska added. Megal, my father, is the leader. Then there is Edgar, Ruby and Sarjen. Edgar is an immortal human and he deals with the human government affairs. Ruby oversees the population counts and reports to Tesmere. Sarjen makes sure everyone abides by the laws the supernatural government has given as well as the human laws. So, we all have a part to play as members. Tesmere was saying something about revenge on our father. We don't even know who our father is, let alone what the two have a beef over, Jacob said in annoyance. And what did he mean by luring? Demon added. Your father. Tesmere's only beef is with Sarjen, Raska said, looking to Alex. You don't think these guys are sergeants, do you? Alex asked. Maybe, Raska said, turning to the twins. What's your story? How did you end up with a human family? Animal shelter. At the time we were wolf pups. Dixie, our adopted mother, said the shelter told her we were in the back of a truck when the driver found us. Apparently, the driver had no idea we were in there. The shelter told her we were found in a basket, Olivia explained. Sarjan had his pups in a basket his wife made, Raska said, his eyes glistening with the possibility of tearing. Why is that upsetting you? Olivia softly asked, walking up to Raska and wrapping him in a loving hug. Sarjan is Raska's brother. In law, his wife was Raska's sister. She was shot and killed the night her pups were born, Alex sighed. That's so sad, Demon said. Yes. Tesmir was aiming at Sarjan that night, but Marissa got between them, Raska said. Olivia could feel wetness hitting her bare shoulder. Tesmir wasn't trying to kill her. Jacob asked. No. He was aiming to kill Sarjan. None of us hold Tesmir responsible. See, Sarjan and his father made a really big mistake a long time ago. He killed Tesmir's parents and younger sister. Tesmir only wanted to kill Sarjan, he never meant for anything to happen to Marissa, Raska sighed. Is that allowed? Demon asked. Yes and no. Sarjan caused a severe wrong, and government member made a vote that he had a right to give punishment, Raska answered. The only one that didn't vote for it was Sarjan, which is obvious why. Oh boy. Wait, you said Megal is the head and he is your father. Isn't he angry with Tesmir for killing his daughter? Olivia asked, moving away from Raska, giving him space. No. He knew his daughter was protecting her mate. Marissa didn't know the history between Tesmir and Sarjan, and if she had, she may still be alive today, Raska said. That makes sense, Jacob said. That aside, where is your brother? Alex asked. Dane. We don't know, it's why we were out here, looking for him, Demon answered. Still struggling with shifting. I'm surprised, I saw Dane a few weeks ago in wolf form. Did he not tell you? Alex said, a little confused. No, or we wouldn't be having this conversation, Jacob said, a hint of anger in his voice. That's not good, maybe we should take this conversation elsewhere, Raska suggested. It's starting to get dark and we may be shifters, but I am getting cold. Let's reconvene at our place. Dixie and Darren are going away for the weekend and they won't be home. I'll let them know we're going to have guests, Olivia said, agreeing. Okay. Raska, I'll meet up with you shortly. Demon, Olivia, head home. I need to talk with Jacob for a moment, Alex said. All right. See you back at the house, Olivia answered, heading for the entrance of the forest with Demon. Once the coast was clear, Alex walked up to Jacob and cupped him. Her animal wolf instincts were slowly kicking in. Alex, what are you doing? He gasped. Just a little fondling, she cooed in his ear as she began to nibble it. We should really get back, he said, trying to go around her. She grabbed his arm and pulled him, causing him to trip over his feet. He fell face first into the dirt. He rolled himself over, which was a big mistake. Alex caught the opportunity to crawl onto his abdomen. She used her teeth to pull his shirt off of his stomach up to his chest. She rubbed her bare breasts along his stomach and chest until her face was looking down on his face. She then captured his lips with hers. The feeling of his tongue in her mouth was unbelievable to her. It made her want to orgasm right then and there, but she held herself. She released his lips and nibbled on his lip. She then used her tongue and trailed it from his lips to his neck and then his left ear. She began sucking and nibbling his ear. Alex, we really should get home, Jacob breathed. And leave you defenseless. Alex whispered, cupping the bulge between his legs. I can deal with that myself, he growled. But I want to help, she said, trailing kisses along his neck. She made a path of kisses from his neck, that led down his stomach to his belly button. She then used her teeth and unbuttoned his jeans. "Do you want me to stop?" she asked softly. "No," was Jacob's only response as he felt her use her teeth to unzip his jeans. Alex grabbed the waistline of Jacob's jeans with her soft slim hands, and pulled his jeans off with ease. She then wrapped one of her hands around his rock-hard shaft, and slowly began moving her hand up and down. At the same time, she cupped his balls and began massaging them, causing a moan to escape his lips. Alex moved her hand off of his shaft, causing Jacob to whimper. Alex replaced her hand with her moist mouth, bringing the whole length of him into her mouth. Jacob grabbed a handful of dirt, to prevent himself from either thrusting into her mouth or releasing too soon. It was a massive struggle, as this was the first time. He never had anything like this happen before. Sure, he had girls grab his ass, but none of that could beat the sensation he was feeling at this very moment. He never thought Alex was interested in him. Heck, he didn't think he was that interesting. Alex released his shaft, and shifted her position. She grabbed his penis in her hand and rubbed it against her clitoris. "Alex!" he breathed, knowing what was about to happen. Before she could even make the move to plunge on him, he grabbed her hips and thrusted himself inside of her. At first, he went slow, but then picked up his speed as she moved her hips in the rhythms of his thrusts. With every thrust into her, she released a moan of pleasure. As he kept thrusting, he rolled the two of them over so that she had her back to the forest floor. This allowed Jacob to be able to go even faster with his thrusts. Jacob could feel that he was close to orgasming, and he really hoped Alex was too. He picked up his speed tenfold, before he finally collapsed on top of her in complete ecstasy. "That was amazing," Alex breathed. "Tell me about it," he replied, completely spent. "I was only trying to tease you, but man, this was way better," she said. "You more than succeeded. We should really head back." "Yes, we should." Jacob got up and looked around for his jeans. He then pulled them on and turned around to see an auburn wolf head into the woods. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.